show you guys peak NFL Twitter yet, or did I not post this?
No such thing as peak NFL because the NFL is trash.
Oh no. NFL the NFL got spicy week 1. This is how to
A spicy week 1. Well, you know what? This is week 28 of the 1 to 10 podcast. Hello.
Oh no.
We did it. Also, I spoiled the running. I should ask you what episode number.
Oh,
I
right,
remember.
yeah.
I spoiled it
It's
this one. So you got a free
you
pass.
did.
Free pass.
Oh,
It's
free pass.
28, brother. I would have guessed like 25.
Honestly,
Honestly,
yeah, you're a little sleepy bears today.
I
Yeah,
am
see,
sleepy
there
bears
You're so
today.
tired. You're 3 weeks back.
Dude. You're right.
Right.
You're right. True.
Oh,
True.
Shouldn't do that.
All right.
Sorry. No, it was me. I moved the mic stand.
Oh, I thought you
Uh,
meant the noise I made when you did that.
No,
No,
I
it was like-
moved it slightly.
I thought it was both of you.
I think I hate myself. This episode is sponsored unofficially by Liquid Death. We like water.
And also by Alex Ass, due to him sitting on the mic cord
Okay.
for a bit and delaying this episode.
So we
Yeah.
were supposed
Just
to.
total
Okay. So 6:30 was the meeting time. It is 7:08 on the clock. I just want to put that out there, just officially.
That was 15
The-
minutes of ass.
No, it was not.
for
No,
me.
no, it was a minute and 30 seconds.
Yeah,
It was the
that's-
last cord to get plugged
pandemonium.
in. We were running the headset to the board to
Yes,
make sure
yes.
because we had to even debate. We're like, do we even care, man?
Right, do we even use
And
headsets?
they're like, well, we don't know what we sound like. Then
Yeah.
we don't know
They
if the
almost,
volume levels.
we almost did
good.
a ear reveal for free. Patreons.
Yeah, we've already crossed only feet,
I've
but
already
only
seen our ears, but-
earlobes is
Yeah.
next. You get to
Right.
see mine event. Oh God.
Dude, sheesh.
Oh shit. I never thought about this. Literally never in the history of 1 to 10. Oh no, actually that's not true. I think we've done a headsetless episode before, haven't we?
I don't think so.
No,
Dude,
because
Did we
when
do
we
one?
did them over Discord, we would have always had
Right. But what about
headsets.
the one we did with you and the beanbag and just me?
I had headsets.
Oh God, we've always had the headsets.
That's
Yeah.
had
So what I'm
headsets.
saying is I would have Discord too. So I've never not worn my big ass goofy headset right there,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Which is even bigger than these.
Yeah.
So my earlobes have never been seen on
Really?
Right,
1 to 10.
we could just have massive ears. Nobody would ever know.
They don't know. You
They-
guys
they-
know. They don't know.
Yeah,
That's
dude.
funny. All right, anyways, move right along from that so we can keep them not knowing. Check out the Patreon to
Yeah.
know.
Right, yeah. Ear
At the
reveal
$3
coming
small
at
shirt ear
1,000
reveal.
subs.
Yeah.
never
How about like
know.
10?
Nope.
How about a 10?
10.
Yeah.
Dude,
We have,
that'd be
well,
10.
we're minuscule.
million subs.
I just want to
Yeah.
honestly be able to fund the holiday gift card with the Patreon.
Holiday,
It's not.
yeah, I mean,
All I want
yeah,
to do is
that's
we
fair.
have to go to Santa,
Yeah.
right? Get a picture taken like for like $35, like whatever it is, and then
Yeah.
we can distribute it.
Bro, it's
into
gonna
a
be hard to
holiday card however we
find a
so
mall
please.
Santa just because malls are fucking dead.
Dude.
Are they?
I mean,
This
have
is a
you
great
been?
lead topic. Other than we'll get back to NFL Twitter, I promise.
Oh,
but
no,
do you
we're
think
not,
malls are
dude.
really dead?
I think. I mean, for me,
When was
they
the last
are.
time you
Like,
went to a mall?
the last time I went to a mall,
Mhm.
I needed to buy a collared shirt at short notice, and I went and bought a shirt at Macy's. But I also
Okay.
walked through JCPenney and Dillard's, I think, and was like,
D-yards.
why do people even go? And then-
R.I.P. to Sears.
And then speaking of which, the reason I haven't gone back is because when I was checking out,
Mhm.
I had one item and there was like two people in front of me, that didn't like have a huge amount of stuff, but they had a few
Yeah.
things, returning something or whatever. But there's only one girl working the register.
Yep.
It took me probably 20-25 minutes just for me to buy that
Oh,
one
yeah.
shirt. And so I'm like, why would I ever come back and do this again? I can just order it online and
Well, you know what's
I'll
the
pay the
worst
$2 to
part
not have
about
to do all the travel.
that
and it.
register system, because I worked in retail for all of 4 months. Those retail systems for like the scanning process and returns,
They're
they are
expensive.
archaic.
Oh yeah, most of them are written in DOS.
Yeah, they're super.
Yeah, like
rad.
my dad, the one at Macy's, I know, unless they've changed theirs recently, which I don't think they have.
No,
No.
When my dad worked there, he like
Why would they?
it was literally just if you looked at the computers, they're like these really old machines running on
Yep.
like a bootlegged version of XP,
Yeah.
Yep.
and like it's I don't know, it's a mess
It's
the way those work. So I don't
crazy.
blame them. It's just
fucking insane.
why would you go buy
hated
something
it.
in
Yeah,
store?
Dude,
these
I worked
days,
at
you know?
I can say it's because Sears is dead, so it's no like offense,
Yeah.
But when I worked at Sears for all of 3.5 months, maybe,
yeah.
and it led into like a holiday season, which
right
then
during
I
the
quit.
holidays. Yeah,
Well, I quit because that's a good story. We'll get there after Sears. But basically, I hated doing register.
Yeah.
Like it was, I was very much cooler about like, I was a soft lines MCA, which is just like means you fold fucking clothes on the floor and make it look nice.
Mhm.
Walk around and then like attend to the dressing rooms occasionally and grab the clothes and all that stuff. Which no problem with doing that kind of stuff. Except for I was naturally bad at folding shirts, so I got shit for using
right.
the shirt
I'm terrible.
folder.
Yeah, I'm terrible at folding.
Shirt folder
shit.
goated,
I would
though.
have to
Shirt
be
folder
using the shirt
goated.
folder.
I was
The
awesome.
board fold.
Yeah, dude, it's sick. I liked it. It was fine.
Honestly, I need to get me one of those. I forgot about that.
Nah, I'm good. Now I just hang all my shit.
The board fold is nice when you need
Board
to do
fold's
shit
cool.
in a-
It's
like,
cool.
a hurry.
Well, I have a lot of shirts like this. You know what I mean? I have a lot of like stupid graphic tees or like random like sit around the house shirts.
You can visibly see my.
But I feel like
closet right now. It's everything I
hangers.
like that I hang.
Hangers.
Yeah,
If I like it, I
hangers.
hang it.
I guess I could just hang it.
If
I don't
like
have a
it,
lot
I
of
hang it.
closet
If I
space
don't
to
like it,
my-
I fold it.
I'm a
Yeah.
god at folding, so I fold everything.
I mean,
pretty
I can fold
nicely.
well.
I can
but
fold.
that's-
It just doesn't look nice.
I don't
Like,
wanna
if I'm
unpack
just
a
folding
combo
other
black.
people's
Yeah, that's
clothes,
what-
it'd be
that's
like
what-
it's kind of off.
That's what I'm saying. The difference between you and me, I fold nicely.
That's between me and the comment section. What I just said
Yeah.
right there. But
Sure.
anyways, what about NFL Twitter, man? What's popping there? Why
Dude,
did it
it's-
get so crazy?
I don't know. Dak Prescott going down with by high fiving a player, or some shit, breaking his thumb. He's out for a couple weeks.
Talking
He's
the
out for
fucking
6
microphone.
weeks.
Sorry,
He's
sorry.
out for 6
Hey,
He's
weeks.
out
if you
for
want
6 weeks.
if you want to sit back like a
Can't-
human being in
can't-
your chair,
Okay.
you can move your microphone up with you. Like you
Yes.
can do like this, where you move it closer up more.
Okay.
and then-
Okay.
and then you
okay,
can sit
okay,
back like a
okay,
person. There you
okay,
go.
Okay. Shut up.
I'm sorry. You do this every
Pro
week,
tips.
and I'm just like, come on, man. If you
Yeah.
want to sit comfortably in your chair, just make it where it's right there
the
for you.
fantasy side of it.
Yeah.
People drafted Cam Akers with their second round.
Bro,
pick.
catch me hitting up what is it, Daryl
Darrell
Henderson
Henderson
on
on
the
the
waiver
waiver.
wire, baby. Put that
Dude.
claim in this morning. Let's
Bro,
go.
same. I have so many
that.
claims going.
I mean, I won, so there's no shot I'm gonna get any of my claims unless some gump just doesn't
Oh,
pick
ours
them up
is
at all.
like by draft order, and I picked near the back.
Oh,
so-
I may have to
so-
check that for the first week.
yeah.
I'm not sure.
Let
it may
me
still
ask
be
a
by draft
question
order.
at the level of virality in Twitter terms.
Yeah.
What pops harder? Anime Twitter on a Sunday or first week football on a Sunday?
Oh,
First week-
football,
first
all
week
day.
football.
Foot-
I'm trying
Hearing
to find
Chris
it.
Hansen say 7 hours of commercial-free football starts now. I could have came,
I knew this.
You did.
and I may have. Nobody else was there, so who can
I
say?
didn't. I
Respect.
didn't watch the Saints game, but they won, right?
Is this why you said, by the way, Sunday wasn't good to record on?
Yeah. Oh,
No,
absolutely.
Hey,
Yeah,
you guys, you guys told me football would be a difficult season. I respect it, and I appreciate the transparency.
We,
now.
we were in
That's all I'm saying.
Discord for like 3 hours watching football together, talking about our fantasy football teams.
All right, so from now on, just so you guys know, you can use the One Dead Pod Discord without the discretion of me being like, "Oh, I see what's going on." It's fine.
Yeah, we called each other
Hey,
to stay.
now that I know, it's all good.
Bro, I was
This
so
betrayal of
hungover.
friendship brought to you by
And also that,
Steak.com.
also
was-
that because I
I
stayed
was
up until
so
4 a.m.
hungover.
the night before.
Are you all right? You've
Which
been
I'm
doing that a
apt to
lot
do.
lately.
Dude.
No, but it's
You said
See-
no, but
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
okay.
no, but it's it's kind of a dual thing because I'm going and being
Mhm.
healthy. It's my volleyball team. But then after we play volleyball and we're actually it's not like beer league volleyball, like we're just messing around. Like we
Yeah.
actually
According to
play well.
according to Twitter.
So I'll be so it's a nice workout, but then afterwards we just get drunk. So then I don't have a job right now, so I'm just chilling. I can
According-
pop around.
Ah.
I'll go out and drink. Why not?
I got you.
According to Twitter, because you play video games late, you were depressed.
Right? Oh my! Oh, let's talk about
Wait,
that. I saw
what?
that. I saw that tweet
Have
too.
you not
Somebody.
seen this tweet?
No,
Oh man.
dude, I literally I said this I think before the recording, but I
Yeah,
actually
yeah.
feel like my Twitter has been so much recently, but that's because of esports, honestly.
Okay.
But like, there's so much more going on my Twitter feed than normal that it's been hard for me to keep up with like what I normally keep up with on
Yeah.
Twitter. So no, I genuinely haven't seen this viral tweet going around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
While he's pulling it, oh, you got it pulled up.
Yeah.
But essentially, what the tweet says is like, if you play video games
Okay,
for
so
long
because
periods
of-
of times,
yeah.
you must be depressed.
Yeah.
And to me, it was just pure projection because that guy used it as an outlet, and because he stopped playing video games and felt better, he's like, now everybody must be depressed just because they play games.
Okay, first off, I just want to say this because I don't agree with even the notion that they presented in the argument.
Yeah.
So they said, think about the 100 greatest moments of your life. Do any of those moments include video games? Yes.
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 Yeah. A bunch
Yes.
of
Yeah.
a bunch of my
Genuinely.
best times and
Some
funniest
of the
moments.
most fun,
Kingdom Hearts 2 plot happened to me. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you
Like-
experience. Okay, like let's just say a couple things here.
Video
very
games are
quickly.
art.
There's experiences through group like gaming that are
Yeah.
very much can be like huge moments. There's literally a Overwatch game that my friends and I who still don't play together but do talk a lot called
Reference.
It's called the Great Hanamura Run because so what happened on our first ranked season we ever played together, which was 10 games runs, and you could do 6 stacks, right?
Yeah.
So we had a 6 stack. We had been like thinking about playing ranked. We had played probably for like 4 or 5 days consistently together in a row, and we're like, fuck it, let's do our placements on the next season together. So
Yeah.
we waited like 2 weeks, it reset. We did it in all in one night. And it was season like 2 or 3 of Overwatch, so it was real early. Like you could only have one of each hero at this point,
Yeah.
but there was no limitations on roles.
Yeah.
So you
Mhm.
could run like 3 tanks, 3 healers. You could run 4 DPS if you need to in a situation, like whatever you need to do to handle shit, right? So we play all of our games in a row. We're playing a stretch of games all night. And we get to the last game. It's Hanamura. Hanamura is a game mode of assault, which is 2 capture points, like an A and then a B after you capture A.
Yeah.
This is a dead game mode now in Overwatch because it's so infamously difficult and it's mostly about defense. And if you play defense well, then you win the map every time. If you play defense poorly, you lose the map. It's not even about really the offense at a certain point because of how the map is structured. Basically, both spawns.
Office.
No, A spawn is much
Kind of,
farther
yeah.
away from
No,
B.
No, what he's
but
comparing it to
spawn
in
is-
CS is close. Yeah, Office is a very, very closed-in
Yeah.
map that forces you to run in and
Right.
stay close.
Well,
which
that's
is
the
same
second part.
exact
That's
thing. Yeah, the
more similar.
second
Which
stage.
is so A spawn is like in a pavilion far away, and B spawn is directly outside of your actual
the
normal
defender
spawn. So
spawn.
A spawn and B spawn is the same spawn.
Yeah. Oh.
But right, so that's why A is like you have to hold defense well, and if you do, great, you're rewarded. B, super easy to hold because inside of a room, there's like only
there's
3
three choke
entryways or
points
4.
onto the bomb site essentially.
Okay.
But it's a defense point, right? Because you come in from both. I mean, technically
5.
not.
Okay.
It's
Yeah.
technically 5.
But anyway.
Because there's a bottom left room, there's a top
Yeah.
right like archway, which also goes into 2 different pushes. Essentially, you can go down the roof and jump in, or you can just go down the stairwell.
Which
is
I know,
super
but I was
dangerous.
just-
And
yeah,
then
I was
there's
just trying to explain what
2 other
what
this
you're
way
saying.
and 1 the other way. So there's 5 really. But either way, the point is like that was the original of the capture point maps, and then they added a few more like Horizon Lunar Assault, which was like a moon level, which was really cool, but kind of also ass the same reasons. Its B spawn is right outside of normal spawn, so same distance walk. The problem with this was like it forced games where because the way Overwatch works is like you score points based upon like percentage of point taken up to that first point. So if you take the point A, it's 1 point, and then if you take the first 2 ticks and then a little bit more, it's like 87.9%. Right? That's your team's round, and then all they have to do is not even capture the 3rd tick. They just have to like get past where you
percentage.
beat your percentage, right? So what often would end up happening in those situations, especially if you had really snowbally teams back in the day, because that's how hero switching worked in the favor of things. Like you could switch, have crazy different comps, not be forced to 2 tank, 2 healer, 2 DPS. You could go 3 tank, 3 DPS all of a sudden and take no healers. Like, you could go crazy with it. Whatever you need to do to break whatever they're throw bullshit throwing at you in defense mode. So the games would often go to 2 points over and over, and it would let you stack up to 3 times before when you're 6-6. And then you were going forced into a final round mode by the game. So the games would be like 35 to 40 minutes long in that situation. Like this is like the longest format of Overwatch back in the day.
Yeah.
And we ended up in our 10th game being on Hanamura in a 6-6 lead. They had 3 minutes on the clock because they took it on their next push, and we had 1 minute from how poorly we had just taken it in the last round because we were fatigued. We were exhausted.
Yeah, you play a 40-minute game of
but
like
we had been
Overwatch.
playing.
You're
But
supposed
we
to,
played 9 games before that in a row. So we were playing for hours before that, right?
Yeah.
And then we were like, okay, we have this one push. We got to do it. Like, everyone hop on your best hero right now. Yeah. And we were diving, and we ran this dive comp, and we just fucked them up and won the map. And we still like talk about like the great Hanamura run is said all the time in that group chat. It's great. That's a top 10 moment of my life. I think about that game all the time. I think about how hard that went and how much fun I had with my friends doing that. I think about how next month I hope I can replicate some of that serotonin just a little bit when Overwatch 2 finally comes out, and my friends who all want to actually play, it seems now. They seem like there's some faith in the game now, which is other than the battle pass system for characters. I don't want to touch that with a 10-foot pole.
Yeah.
We'll see how bad it is upon release.
That's fair.
Yeah. And then just to like kind of add on to that is what annoyed me most about that is that like so often I feel like you can't even talk about like what you do in video games to other people because it's become like this thing.
Let's talk about one right now.
I can't believe you're so focused on like whatever. Like,
I want to get good, dude. What the fuck you mean? Faker told me to get good.
Yeah.
No. Like, let's talk about like later, dude. Like, that's a vernacular thing in our
oh
day.
yeah.
Later, dude.
Like one of our friends
Do
who
you know what the context of the actual invention? I was the part of that moment. It was me and Dimitro.
No,
so I am playing mid lane, and Dimitro's playing jungle in League of Legends, and he is not like super good yet. Like, this is back in the day, like season 2 or 3. He was better than me, but this is like way when Dimitro was like very silver.
Okay.
And Dimitro is like coming to me. I'm like, Dimitro, there's someone chasing me. Come help me. And he just goes, nah. And I go, what? And he goes, later, dude. And that is like the invention of that moment. And that is like, there's like 30 people who make that joke in our friend group. You know what I mean? In the expanded like TJ, and, like John and all them, you know? That bigger group of friends who was around my age.
It just amazes me how he just said like one day, hey, I want to get good, and he just got
insane,
amazingly.
He got
good
enough to make money.
He would play like all day,
Yeah.
Like I would be on because I would be working from home and I would just log on and I would just see him grinding solo queue for like 8 or 9 hours.
Dude, I remember seeing that
Jeez.
and I was like, I was so happy for him and then concerned because when he started climbing, it really impressed me. But then when he started making that money out of it, dude, I was like,
Right,
damn.
he was just boosting people's accounts for
Yeah.
money.
Whoa.
What? Good
Allegedly,
luck.
Minecraft. He's
Allegedly.
boosting
I'm not
Minecraft
doing it. I
accounts.
don't care.
Yeah, but
I'm gonna find him.
he doesn't do it anymore or whatever, and
I don't think he cares anymore.
well, no,
Yeah, he didn't
no.
even play the
so now,
game.
well, that's the thing. I get on and I see his name on sometimes, and I'm just like, there's a glimmer of hope, and then it's just him online with that bug because he's playing TFT on his phone.
Yeah.
and I'm just like,
Always playing TFT on
Yeah,
his phone.
love that guy.
Exactly.
But shout out to him. Every time I post one of my dumbass thumbnails that I make for every one of my streams, he likes it every
Hey,
time,
you
and he
go.
shows up a lot
There
of
you
time
go.
too. So I love Demetro.
Nice.
That dude's the best.
Yeah,
Oh,
he's
ear
great.
reveal.
And see, that's the thing. You can't tell me my top like whatever moments. Like I have friends I've made through gaming,
Mhm.
like Cam.
Well, that's how I've made. Like that's what I'm saying.
have
is,
people from Canada
It
who come
annoys
down
me
here
that
to
people
visit
don't
us.
see like gaming friends and people like because and I've always felt like that people don't see you hanging out with them like talking with them in
Yeah.
Yeah.
Discord or talking in TeamSpeak or
I would
whatever
say,
it
like,
used
the
to be
three
like.
of us were like gaming friends.
Right, like
pretty
I feel like I've
much.
spent a lot. I've
League of
spent
Legends is a fundamental part
I've
of why
spent
we are all
like
friends.
years of my life in
Most
group
leaders
chats
of
with
me.
my
Yeah.
friends, like playing video games, because that's like what I like to do in my
Mhm.
spare time. It's not like, oh, I'm sad, let me go play games.
Yeah,
Like, no,
dude.
I want to hop out with my friends and play
Let's
games. Like,
fucking
it's
noob
just
tube
weird
on
to me
MW.
to have
I
that
think
attitude.
I think
you
the
know?
other thing too that's particularly interesting of the room of the three of us because we had a conversation online, not obviously recorded or anything, not too long ago about how we like particularly the three of us are tryhards in a way.
Yeah.
Like we didn't say we are tryhards, but we're like, I don't know why you would want to play. We were talking about a person
I
we
don't
played a
wanna
game with. We
fucking
got very upset
lose.
with them, and we were like,
yeah,
and we were like,
I don't wanna
why
fucking
are you
lose.
playing like that? We don't want to fucking just come here to lose. Like we
Yeah.
want to fucking
and that's
play
what makes
the game.
games fun to me is like my love of games spurs from the puzzle of every new game you
Yeah.
play. Of
Ooh.
like going in and figuring out like how am I not only like how am I gonna have fun in this game,
How am I gonna
but
close
how
it
am I
out?
gonna be good at this game and like what can I
Yes.
learn about it? How complex is it?
Yeah, I
And
don't.
that to me is what's actually fun. Like outside just speaking in life terms, like work and all this other bullshit, I do
Yes.
not find fun to solve those sorts of puzzles.
Yeah.
But when you go in a video game and you get to like, you play Skyrim for the first time and you're like, how am I gonna make my character? That whole experience is I think what makes gaming fun.
There's other things to it too.
And
but,
so
you know,
for me, like we said, if you're not trying to
Well-
like win and compete, and then especially with multiplayer games, like
Yeah.
I don't.
Oh yeah,
the
I mean,
fun disappears.
I
for
think
me.
there's even footage at this point, and when the three of us are playing a game together on my stream, like it's visible that we just want to fucking win if we're gonna play a game. I'm not gonna come to play. If I'm going to play a game, I'm ready to do like one or two things. Either A, if I'm playing like League, I'm ready to crack skulls on some fucking noobs.
Yeah.
I want to smurf on someone. You know,
Yeah.
I don't want to play on my smurf to do so. I just want to have like a really strong game, get a
Yeah.
good win. And that's why last night I said I was going to play like one or two games on stream, and I ended up playing like three, and I lost every game, baby.
Yeah.
Woo! Because you got to keep trying to get that one. But
Can end on a loss.
well, it's not even like ending a loss. It's like I want to play well. You know,
Yeah.
I want to at least make sure. Even if I
right.
lose,
You
like,
just
I
want
wanna
to have a
play
game
well.
where you
And that Sejuani game I played was not well.
Right,
I play
didn't
Sedge
play
top.
well
I play
either.
Sedge top way better than I do jungle. It's a whole thing.
I should have played mid.
Yeah,
Stayed away from the Yone.
dude. Yeah. I mean, you did try to chump check him level 1, which respect, but it's
Yeah,
only if he's afraid of you, and then he
Yeah,
wasn't afraid of
he
you.
was not.
He was not afraid of you.
Well,
dude.
but then even after level 1, I just had no chance after that. I
Yeah.
was just dead.
I think we can safely say though that basically, I mean, our friendship exists a lot through gaming. That's how we became people who wanted to see each other. In
Well,
real life
and it's
talk,
like
you know,
Yeah.
I don't have. We may not have a ton in common. Like I've never been super into anime, or I've never been
Mhm.
super into, some of the music that you were into in high school and stuff. So like, while
Yeah.
I haven't ever been like in real life, like we don't hang out all the time, or we didn't until we started doing sort of podcasting. But we've always played games, and like same
Yeah.
with you.
Yeah.
I mean, we've played games together since Halo 3.
Yeah.
Like going way back. So
I
it's
think
like
I played a little Halo 3 with you guys.
I
when that
connect
came
I
around,
connect more
'cause
with
I
my
had an
friends
Xbox
through
then.
playing games than I
Yeah.
ever really feel like I
Yeah.
have in person. I have long-term friends in person, but the gaming friends I see
other-
way more
The
often.
other thing about conceptual games in the first place, right? Like tabletop gaming leading to computer games, leading to regular video games, etc. They're all based around like concepts of team building in ways too. Like
Yeah.
Mhm.
Dungeons and Dragons is the first major like conceptual team building game. in a way.
Camaraderie will always like triumph in
and
game design.
that's the thing.
you
We can
know?
have a memory about something, and we can take that and just be like, we have this friendship over this thing, and
Mhm.
now we can take that, and now we, like I said, we literally just do this. All
Yeah.
because like 10 years ago, I was like, oh, Trenton wants me to play games with his friends.
Yeah.
Right,
You
we're
know,
like,
people-
yeah, we need a 5th for league. Come in here and feed with us.
And you're like, you're online. I'm like, all right. And then, dude, okay, yeah, let's talk about like one of the top here. Trenton and Jacob renaming their accounts to Alex Grandpa and Alex Grandpa.
to this
Fuck
day,
with me.
to this day, they're still both named
Trenton
after
plays-
his grandparents.
Trenton plays Valorant with Alex Grandpa. Like,
I know,
unironically,
I
he just goes on
know.
Valorant and plays that, and people are like, who's Alec? And then he just laughs about it. Like, that's great, dude.
Yeah, there's a lot of lore too. Like that's the thing. There's so much.
There's so much lore.
There's
to
so
this
much
story.
outside of
It's the fact he's
the
still
game that
You
you
should, you
should
should ask James about the joke about hotboxing my grandma's sewing room.
So she.
It's not even a sewing room, but he just keeps referring it to that. And he's like, I want to hotbox him one day. And
Yeah.
that was like a thing, like, I don't know, 11 years ago.
Yeah.
and it still is.
He
So-
still makes a joke about it every now and then. I'm like, you sly bastard.
Yeah.
You've done it again.
Or I mean, the same thing. There's like another Dimitro meme where he's just backdooring because we were playing a game and he just ended away the game and he's like, or I forget what no, he said base race. That's all he said.
Base race.
We were like, Dimitro, we all died in the team fight mid. Where are you at? And then we all look top lane and he's pushing their fucking inhib. And he's like, and all he says is base race. And I think he won.
Dude.
Maybe. I'm not sure. I think he was playing Nasus.
Yeah.
What a fucking god.
Dude,
Do you remember the plus 1,000 stack of Jacob Corver Nasus?
Yeah,
game?
I mean, I remember that. I
Jesus.
rember him
Poppy?
in
He would-
team
no,
endless
'cause it
amounts
was-
of your red buffs.
It was a it was a 500 stack game, and then he couldn't kill them, so he's like 1,000 stack game. This is before like the 3 and 6 stack thing. This
Yeah.
was like they were 1 and 3.
this
Yeah.
is when you had to like get champion kills to ever reliably stack it
And
all.
it was crazy.
Yeah.
But that dude was nuts at the game. Yeah, and then he'd also make me run it down to Fountain before he'd play the game again when he got mad at me.
Yeah.
For
Right,
something.
right. If,
He's
if
like,
it
you
tri-
misplayed that.
If
And
he
I'm
tried to
like,
gank
I'm
and
sorry.
you fucked up, he'd just be
But-
like, "All right, Alec, run it down. I'm pissed."
The
He's like,
game-
run it down or I'm not leaving Fountain.
The game was such
That happened
a,
so many
in
times.
such a
Oh.
primitive like state where you could do that. Where like
Right.
you
I mean,
could
that
just-
was like
one
season
player
3,
could just
season 4.
Oh, yeah.
destroy.
Yeah. And you also could actually get to their base and run it down. Now you
Yeah.
can't fucking do that.
You can't even.
I don't
yeah.
even know why. Like, I think it's just the vision and movement around like the base gates and stuff. Like, there's just no way in.
Everyone's so much more powerful, and
Like
like
17
all-
fucking
the,
dashes,
the
man.
comeback
First,
mechanics make it really a lot
everybody
more
is
even.
way better at the game.
And that
now,
as
by the
well,
way.
yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a big thing. Like wave management and like counting creeps, knowing
People
how to
in
like do
Silver,
things. Like those are
like,
common concepts
freeze
you're expected
wave.
to know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
everybody I play against
Yeah.
will freeze the wave
Well,
these days. Back in the day, it used to be if you could CS decently, that would
Yeah.
get you into gold or plat pretty quickly
Yeah.
because most people couldn't
Couldn't even
maintain the
CS.
goal.
Yeah, last
Yeah.
innings
They couldn't-
a
they couldn't
base
keep the
concept. If you
goal.
can't do that, then you can't play the game.
But now it's
basically.
like 10
Yeah.
years later now, and that's
Yeah.
just as child's play for everybody.
Everybody
You're
knows
assumed-
10 CSD is the goal.
except people who go play Dota. Holy
See,
shit,
it's
I
funny
play with
you
this
say,
guy. who
like
couldn't
everyone
CS for
freezes
shit.
wave on me. It's like, dude, I play top lane and like a lot of fucking people just shove the shit out of you. They just push your shit in and then they just keep going, and it's obnoxious.
Yeah, there's that. Like it depends on the champion. I feel like, but
Yeah.
it's a little bit about like people just play better.
The
Like,
problem is that
Yeah, just in
so
general.
I think the
people
real
play
problem
better.
with low elo, and we're gonna really get into this before we get into like normal topics again. I think the problem with low elo is that like most junglers in low elo are really not good at the game.
Yeah,
Like they don't have they don't understand limits and they often over engage.
I would say
and
most
they-
jungles in the game because we're playing norms,
I'd
right?
say,
They
like,
don't
everybody
care.
I'm talking
fucking
like
sucks.
in my solo queue games. though.
Oh, okay.
So if I'm playing jungle, like it's okay and it goes fine usually. I don't not like playing jungle. I played a lot of it this season already, but I really want to get back into top lane. I'm gonna be honest. I like Sejuani a lot, but I prefer
They
playing
should
her
take
as a
jungle
TP
out of
ignite
the
or TP
game.
TP ignite top lane Sejuani over like flash smite jungle Sejuani every day.
they should take jungle out of the game.
Honestly, I agree
Kinda.
with you because I think the reason
Does
you're-
Dota
you
have
notice
lack
that
of
is
jungle?
yeah, there's no jungling in Dota. Everybody takes the creeps
So it's
later
1,
in
2,
the game.
3, 4, 5, right? Is the whole like concept of like structuring your 1 as your most important
No,
carry.
so
2
in
is
at
your
my
lead-
rank,
second most, or...
it's generally 2-1-2. But
no, I'm talking like conceptually in rank. It's not like you're not. I'm saying in position in the game. It's not top, jungle, mid, whatever. It's your 1, your 2, your 3,
Yes,
your 4,
correct.
your 5. It's the importance.
Yeah, you have
it's
3
the
cores
order
and
of
then
who
2
gets the most
supports.
important amount of gold, right?
Yes,
so your 1 is
basically.
your carry who you want the most gold funneled into early, mid game, and then other later in the game. That's where the 4s and 5s would collect the gold.
right, because you can channel gold much more effectively because
Right.
you can stack creeps. So in the jungle, like
had a
imagine if I could
friend-
stack like 3 or 4 stacks of wraiths
Yeah.
and then walk in and take the whole stack with 1 Morgana Q. That's essentially what you can do in Dota. So all the gold just goes to generally your mid laner or one of your, depending on your side and your jungle configuration, etc.
Yep.
But yeah, I've been really enjoying Dota by the way recently. I've been
And
playing
this is
quite a
how
bit
we
of
know
Dota.
we should be worried about you.
No, I mean honestly, and
No, it's
going
good
back
game.
and playing League, I missed a lot of the things that I was enjoying about Dota because everything feels so much more meaningful, and
Sure.
every hero feels like they do just way
See,
more
But
damage.
League looks nicer.
No, it doesn't.
Really?
No, not at
Dota
all.
has a higher res
Dota
scale.
looks so much nicer,
If
dude.
you have a
Really?
high, nice piece,
Especially in
the
the
reason
big team
why it
fights.
looks bad to you is because you're seeing clips that are like horrible spectator clients.
Yeah.
You need to see like playing the game
Right.
with a high resolution.
You would like I can stream it next to my play. I mean, it's so nice, and especially in the big team fights, no lag, and there's all these crazy ass abilities. I mean, there's giant flaming meteors that'll crash from the sky, and that's just an item.
Yeah. Okay, that's cool.
So like
Weird.
the visuals are insane, and just the depth of gameplay. Like I said,
Yeah.
it's a really complex puzzle, and it reminds me of when I first started playing League
Okay.
Yeah.
because there's so much in items and
Yeah, I feel like
in
League is
path
very
and
much like
farming,
the
everything.
baby's version of what Dota can be for real men. Honestly,
Yeah.
like,
Right.
Dota is the game if you really want to
It's
get
like
into
it's like
it. and
Valorant
I
to CS.
Yes.
yeah, exactly.
Well,
yeah, I would agree. Yeah.
But wait, you're saying CS is the league and Valorant?
CS will put fucking hair on
No,
your chest.
Valorant-
and
Valorant
You're playing,
is-
okay,
yeah.
I agree with your analogy.
Yeah,
then. I thought you were saying the other way
yeah.
around. Yeah.
No,
So we're saying that Riot's games are just Valve's worst versions of games.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah,
You get real
Valve's
hair
is
on your
better.
chest in Valve games
Yeah.
Yeah, you put that's where you.
because there's fucking Russians playing it.
Yeah, that's where you cut your teeth, bro.
Yeah, dude.
Well, it's just because they're so rich, they can.
Yeah, the
'cause
Russian
they
and
own the
Ukrainian war
marketplace, they
continues
don't
on
have to-
Dota.
Mhm.
Have to make money off their games.
Oh yeah, actually we should talk about that. There's a very large chance a lot of like teams in CS and Dota can not be participating in majors if they're from Ukraine or from Russia.
No, it's just Russia.
Is it just
Yeah, no,
Russia?
It's
Russia.
just Russian people will not be allowed in certain countries.
Oh, because of sanctions in countries. That makes
Yeah.
more sense than anything.
Right,
Actually.
yeah.
See, now you explain it that way with like
the
governmental
travel issues.
bordering. Yeah,
Yeah.
that makes sense. It's not the tournament; it's literally the place where the
Because
tournament
like
is.
what they started doing is just
Yeah.
deny people visas from
Yeah,
from
so
Russia
C9
Makes sense.
or
likely
Belarus.
won't-
Speaking of which,
C9 likely won't be at much in 2023.
Yeah, that's United at least. Because, well, I mean, do you believe in the philosophy that a gaming team cannot have one successful team in another area? Like, they can't have two at the same time.
I mean, I haven't seen it. Have you? Nobody's
Yes.
willing to spend the money.
I mean, no, not necessarily. I haven't,
Oh, I think.
okay, yeah, I agree. with
wait,
you.
wait. Are you
I have
talking
not
about, like
seen
NA
it. Yeah.
right now? Or like
I'm talking about
when-
anywhere in the fucking world, man.
having,
Just like-
one
You could
league?
talk about you could
Yeah,
say
like
ED
TSM
you could
having
say
the top
you could
COD
say
team or
FPX if
something.
you really want to go there because FPX has a European Valorant team but a Chinese league
Oh,
team.
so you mean
So
like,
whichever way you want to
you-
toss it, I
you-
can't think of a single esports org that has a super successful team in one esport and then another super
well, I
successful
know.
team in
I
another
can.
at
I
the
can
same
think
time.
of. I can think of one.
Anytime.
At one point in time.
Okay,
At
man.
one
Oh,
point in
okay.
time, I
Well,
can
we
think of
can't
one.
say all time because then we could say like Cloud9 and Mango at the same time.
No,
from
no,
League.
I'm
Like that's
Fnatic, literally Fnatic, dude. They were gods at
Oh,
League and fucking
2015. You're
Yeah,
right.
they're
Yeah,
good at
2015
fucking
Fnatic
CS
and CS.
too.
And,
yeah,
Yeah.
you're
Fnatic,
right. You're
Fnatic
right.
was really
Okay.
at its peak when
The 18-0 summer split
Get
for
right,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, you're
dude.
right. You're right. Okay.
Fnatic.
You're
bro.
right. Fnatic. Okay, shouts.
and that was with the
Solana-
old logo too. Their old logo
Yeah.
was based.
They need to go back.
Yeah, I think
old
so.
logo
The
was way
greatness.
more based. Yeah, I'll agree with that.
I like their color scheme
Um,
more too.
What else going on in CS World, baby?
Dude, CS? Just ESL Pro League groups, Navi dropped some
Oh,
games.
didn't they announce
Right?
the
It's like
Blast Point
long-
major or something?
Oh yeah, Blast got a major. Blast
Yes,
Premier
France,
2023 France. It's cool seeing the French Prime Minister.
Oh right,
I
yeah,
thought-
Emmanuel
He's
Macron
super about it.
announced
No,
it
no,
on
he
TV.
loves
he's super
CS.
about it, yeah. Yeah, he's cool league too. He's hip.
Yeah.
He's hip.
Dude, he's hip.
Hey,
as
the
fuck.
French love killing terrorists.
I mean, I think
Yeah,
I think the
true.
president of Riot Esports globally is actually a French guy too.
Oh,
apparently.
really?
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
dude.
they're very much in support. Plus, like, I mean, they have the biggest, one of the, if not the biggest ERL league for Europe, being the LFL. You got a sneezy bear? Do it.
I got sneezing.
Yeah, that's right. You don't gotta do shit.
I
bitch.
got sneezing.
Yeah.
That works.
DS is cool. Other esports before we get to League because it's a big league.
I've been playing Valorant lately.
That's right. You've been playing Valorant. I reinstalled last night, and I made sure my Chroma worked and everything, and my sensitivity is good.
I think I have it installed still.
I
'cause
just
we played
can't.
it a
I don't know
while
why
ago.
people buy skins. You can't sell them or do anything. with them.
Right.
They just
I
look
bought
cool.
I bought some from because I spent money in the beta, so I
Same.
got free money back from that.
Yep.
I got free
that's
points.
good.
Because you when
I
they
haven't
did
bought
the
any
beta, they
since.
told you like if you put money in now during the beta, your skins will go away, but you will get more value. Than
You'll
what you
get
put
30.
in.
I think you was
So,
30%.
extra, right? So if you
Okay.
put in $100, you got $100.
So I think I spent like $200 because it was right
Yeah.
at the start of the pandemic. So I was like, "Fuck it, I
Bro,
got tons of money." I'm
It
just
was
sitting at
April.
home.
It was the pandemic. I was like trying to get cracked, and I was working from home, and
Yeah.
there was droughts during my day for time, for
Yeah.
sure. So I would hop into a game or two in the morning or the afternoon and
I
stuff.
played so much. I got to diamond.
You guys played so fucking much. I wanted. Well, that's the thing. I for the first like week before you guys all got into it, when I got in right away,
I don't think
I had like I played with you guys before most people got in, and then like
Mhm.
when you guys got in, I'm like I'll play a little bit, and then you guys had way more time on your hands than I did, so I could not keep playing, and then you guys got so much better than me so fast.
Yeah, I
Like
played.
dude, I'm not even kidding. It was a
every day for,
weekend. It was a weekend where we
like,
were
3
all like
weeks,
around
at
silver,
least.
and then the next week you guys were like all hitting plat and shit, and I was struggling to keep up. I just gave up. I was like, I don't have anyone to play with anymore. I'm done.
That's fair.
It got to the point where I learned all the lineups. So I was playing Sova, so he's the guy with the bow.
Yeah.
So I was just like, I knew all the lineups on all the maps.
So you're a
it
Sova
got
player,
it got
okay.
so good where I'd plant the bomb and I'd be the guy that would run way around the corner and I would just wait with my bow and wait for him to defuse and I'd just tink tink and they'd die.
Nice. I
They
play
nerfed the
Viper.
shit
These
out
days
of
it doesn't do any damage because all the abilities got nerfed because they realized they're
Yeah.
too OP.
Yeah, I mean it should be
Killjoy.
about the guns though, you know.
It
It
really
should
should
be,
be,
should
but
be.
they'd have to
So,
remove everything and raise the character.
You play Killjoy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They do need to delete killed or raise.
No,
They need to
Raze is
delete
fine.
Raze.
Leave Raze
She used to
alone.
have 2 nades for
Yeah.
free.
Wait, she only has one now?
Yeah.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, she used to
That's
have
dope,
2.
too.
Her paint shells only have
Her blast
one.
packs used to do 50 each.
Valorant old game. Boo.
Yeah, boo.
No, I'm
They
kidding.
have
I'm kidding.
7 maps.
So I play Viper
crazy.
mostly because I feel like a lot of teams don't pick smoke very like willingly, and I'm like I don't want to play healer. I want to play smoke if anything.
Yeah.
Breach is I think the most fun support
I like
character at
Breach
least
a
at the
lot,
time when
too.
I
He's
played.
cool.
He's interesting.
People thought I was trolling when I would pick him, but
now
like,
there's
if,
new
if you
characters,
play
and
with
I
your
don't even know what they
team, he's
fucking
really
do.
good.
I stand by though the notion that if the op is not the most if the op is not viable, your
I
shooter's
heard
not going to be
Chamber
high.
is correct.
Yeah, I guess
The
I
problem,
guess-
the reason the
I
op
guess
isn't
you're right.
viable is because everybody has
guess
too
the
much movement.
Chamber is viable, so never mind. I take back. what I
Wasn't
said.
Chamber like have an op in his kit?
Yeah.
So
I
that's
take that
why,
back.
because he
take that back. I take
opping's
that back.
not viable. It's that if you're gonna op, just play your op around
Yeah,
Chamber,
yeah.
because then you have it in your
Well,
abilities.
I don't have
Wait, he
Chamber
gets an
unlocked
op in his
yet.
abilities.
I think it's his ultimate, isn't it?
Yeah, it's something like that.
Yeah, like
The
he
hell.
just gets a fucking op. I think it grows out of his arm or some shit. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Baby game.
Yeah, it's
No
fucking-
ops growing on trees over.
So you
on
playing the
CS:GO.
baby game with us later tonight?
Dude,
Yeah.
I'm fucking into it.
I'll play a game
I
tonight.
love smacking these fucking children.
I just want to
dude.
get back
Yeah,
into
we'll
it.
probably
man.
get shit on because my MMR is still sky
Nah,
high.
bro. If,
Nah,
you,
we're
if
cool.
you've been playing CS and just come
They also
over,
have
you'll-
MMR reset several times. So if you haven't played in a while,
Okay,
you'll probably be
good.
fine,
I've been
dude.
poo poo peeping on bronzies and silvers.
Nice.
All right.
Yes.
So what's up in the league world?
Man,
Yes,
all right.
oh,
So all the
ooh,
regions
spice.
finished doing their their
Worlds
finals.
qualifying.
Yes, and then they
Yes.
immediately following the NA finals, which was the same day as the EU finals, they did all of the world's draws. So they had no time. But let me tell you about one thing first.
NA group of life.
The day of the finals, when all of the old pros were celebrated in NA, was one of the most like heartwarming things I've ever seen. Like after the shit turns the LCS took for a while, for them to be like, all right, we're gonna bring like all of our high like time winning champions. So like Biofrost, X Smithy,
Dyrus,
Haunter,
High.
Dyrus, yeah, High, like Sneaky.
What does
like,
Dyrus do these days? I'm
He's
sure
still
he's sitting
free.
on
He's
his
just being
millions.
humble. He was
Yeah.
dude. Dyrus
Yeah.
came on stage and he started like almost tearing up, just walking.
Dyrus
up.
is such a
Oh
cool
my
dude. I always
God.
loved him.
And
Yeah.
he did
Just
part
a-
of
he's
he
just like
did,
a-
and
he's
then
like a
it
guy that
was
likes games.
X
Yeah.
Smithy, High,
On a
and
very
Dyrus
toxic
did
team.
the
yeah.
oh the most. Shout out to Reggie's $75,000 fine once again.
Yep.
The big thing is that so Rogue won their first title in EU.
3-0 G2.
3-0 G2. Fucking
Dude,
stomp.
G-
The last game was a 23-minute game stomp.
G2,
And then there's also this really infamous
man.
play going around their jungler just soloing. I was like 1v5 on Jarvan, saving the game in the Nexus.
Yeah,
And he
leading the
saves it.
minions
So
away,
they, so
killing
they
them.
won game 2 off of him doing this crazy
I
like
saw
minion
that.
lead away thing. Malrong's insane. Shout out Korea, you're nuts. But basically Otoamne, probably a name you've heard
Mhm.
before, he finally won his first championship. So that's a pretty cool, like, big moment. And he had a cool speech afterward where he was like so happy. He was very honest about his like, so many finals. Like we got fucking stomped in one of them like this, and he's like, but now we get the fucking stomp. And I was
Yeah.
like, that shit was hype. Like he had me feeling some type of way. So I was like, cool. Glad to see him succeeding. Glad to see him like showing that he can fucking do it. There's that sneeze fucking a little bit ago. Yeah, woo.
Dude, that felt so good.
Got that one out. All right.
Yeah.
And then so Rogue wins theirs. Evil Geniuses had a weird thing happen because Danny, their AD carry, who was being named Prince of Pentakill, basically, up and coming star, finally won his first championship last split. He substituted himself out essentially, citing mental health.
Hmm.
And they put in their substitute player. His name's Cowrie. He's from Turkey. 3-2 series actually against 100 Thieves, and it ended up actually, so they take third seed overall in these Evil Geniuses, and then C9 and 100 Thieves played, and C9 beat them 3-0.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
C9 shit on them.
Ye-
There was almost like they were
Well,
on track to do the
dude,
fastest game.
Yeah,
in
they were.
LCS.
They were. Yeah. And then Berserker, the AD carry, who was essentially the trainee underneath Guma Yusi, who's on T1, so Faker's team, right? So he now has won his first title, and he is fucked. So he had this really cool interview. He's just like, "Oh, I'm so happy." He's like, "It was kind of easy." Like he said, it was kind of like he said we thought it was gonna be way harder. It was kind of
be
easy.
good.
He thought it would be a harder game, like 3-2, and it was
Yeah.
3-0. So you know, it is what it is.
That's
So then they
fair,
immediately
though.
did the group draws, right? So Fnatic and Evil Genius
Where's
are in
NA?
the same group for the play-ins.
Yeah.
Group A is Cloud9 seed 1, T1, and world champion defending title Edward Gaming from China.
I think we
So
get out of the
this is
group.
also, for the record, this is the same group that in 2017
Miracle
that
run.
Jensen played on C9 with, and they played against T1 and EDG, same mid laners too, Faker and Scout, like literally
Yeah.
the same people.
Okay, so Jensen
So-
has to show up.
Well, like think about the last time you
NA
heard. Hang on, in
dream.
any
It's
in any
time.
esport.
It's time.
Hang on. Think about this for a second. In any esport, have you ever heard of like
NA
when-
winning.
No. No. The same three teams meeting up, and it's like the same three guys playing. You know what I'm saying? Like, how often do you have people who retain
Oh,
their
yeah.
That is
role
very
that way?
rare.
Like
yeah,
5
especially
years
yeah.
Exactly.
later.
5
Yeah,
years.
this
That's
long
an
later.
infinity in
5 years
esports.
in esports years
On
is
the
like
same team.
Yes.
It's like dog years.
Also,
It's like
Jensen
times
obviously
6.
finally getting his first title with C9. So he
Yeah.
finally brought the trophy home with C9.
He
That's
broke
awesome.
the curse, dude.
It's coming home.
Dude,
So
Riot
they,
wrote the script, and he's
yeah.
gonna win a Worlds and to bring the
Who's
guy
T2?
back to
100
the game.
Thieves is in a really rough group too. I know like Gen G's at Worlds and they're looking nuts.
Yeah.
Basically, it's just
RNG isn't playing.
looking grim for
yeah.
NA.
RNG Kings of Spring are in play-ins. That's
Yeah.
crazy. Yeah.
Well,
man.
LPL is just gonna beat the fucking brakes off of literally
So,
every other
yeah,
region except for
Do you-
whoever
so
won
between me and you,
LCK.
who do you think's your world winner like prediction?
Top
Yours is top.
every time.
I don't know, man.
Tijuana.
I think JDG looks really good.
God King Tion
Yeah, but like top lane lord 369.
doesn't matter, dude.
I'm sorry, we're about to roll the 9, dude. It's gonna be 9 every game.
Dude, it's actually
The
C9.
meme dirs is that 369 is his name, right? The player. But if he plays badly, he's a 3. If he plays okay, it's 6, and if he plays well, he's 9.
Yeah.
Literally, that's like the joke in China about him.
It's funny.
It's very funny. It's like rolling a dice.
It's
He's a good dude,
I
though.
don't know. It'll be one of the 4.
They also had a pretty funny like clip I saw leaked today that 369 and Yagao were on like a Twitch stream,
Yeah.
and they were talking about how they scrimmed against Genji and how they in spring like told like they gave him bad info by having a bad spring like turnout and like having bad scrims back in spring.
Yeah.
So Doran on Genji picked this like pick into Zeus in spring finals where he like shit on him with Cannon. Like Zeus just destroyed
Oh,
him.
in scrims.
So he gave him bad information, which is then why it was better for them and summer to make the corrections or whatever. It's like, so you're welcome for that T1 for your free like title. Like we
Mhm.
gave them bad info. That's why they fucked up against you in finals. And he goes, that's why they also beat you now because they had better info and they were scrimming against them because they were scrim partners for the
Okay.
last like 2 splits.
That makes sense.
Yeah, that's also the reason why the West will never be better is because we can't take Fnatic and have them scrim against Team Liquid.
Yep.
You know,
No.
but we can have JDG scrim against T1 or tomorrow Genji or tomorrow.
Well,
Top
I'm
Esports.
sure that like Korean teams are begging LPL teams to scrim them.
Both. That's been that way forever. They've because the Chinese can play on the Korean server.
That's fair. That's
They
fair.
always they've
There's
always
duplicate.
scrimmed. Yeah, that's
Shit.
if you look back over the history of like the last 7 years between the two,
Yeah.
I'd say there's a clear
Yeah,
history
'cause
of them
there's
having
like,
scrim
there's like
partners.
the gold,
Mm, yes.
whatever.
Well,
like
because you'll
the-
even have like Flash Wolves back in the day were scrim
Yeah.
partners with people, and they were from Vietnam and shit,
Yeah.
or Taiwan. Sorry.
Well, they do have way more like other national tournaments in
Yes.
that region as well.
Yes, they do.
Or like regional tournaments.
Correct. Other than that, yeah, like I don't know, we have a crazy rough run for NA. I think that the only team who might be able to get out,
Is C9.
I think C9 can do it.
Yeah.
They look good. No, they do. They genuinely look good. Blabber looks better.
Yeah,
Put
than
sex for doubt.
Like C9.
But the Blabber shut up.
C9
Blabber shut up.
doesn't
I don't
need to
know.
look good. They just need to look
We
consistent.
just need to get lucky.
Dude, week 2.
We need the other teams
All
to
Week
look
2.
bad.
All we do
We
is need to get lucky.
like see.
Well, think about like FPX last year with
When-
Nuguri, where they like were out of form.
When NA,
That's how they got out.
When NA got out against them last time, wasn't it like C9 only won one game against EDG, and EDG
Here's a
lost
thought.
multiple games.
Now that there's
against,
4 Chinese teams at Worlds, it's guaranteed that one of them goes mental boom every year.
Yeah.
Because it used to be there was 3 and like one would go mental boom, and then it got kind of better. Now that there's 4, dude, one's gonna go mental boom every year. Not all 4 are gonna compete. It's impossible.
It's still going to be tough. They need both of them to.
Both of them.
I mean, they need a lot of people to have mental booms in.
Oh yeah, and then Def made Worlds again.
Yeah.
Jensen's also the highest now retained player to make Worlds in a row. He's made Worlds 8 years in a row.
That's pretty wild.
Also didn't
That's
play in
fucking
spring.
Crazy.
Did not play in spring. Think about that.
Oh, you mean internationally? Like played internationally?
Played at Worlds.
At World.
At the World Championship. Jensen has played for the last 8 years in a row.
Yeah,
that's
pretty
8th year.
wild.
Damn,
Yeah.
bro. Jensen just cracked. He gets.
He's
Remember
really
when his
acquainted
name
with the
was
quarterfinalists welcome
Incarnation?
package.
Yeah.
Hey man, he's made semis before
Dude.
too.
He's so well versed navigating these airports.
Right. He's got the arena down pat.
Yeah.
Hey,
You know,
it's in NA
you
this year
know,
though.
Oh,
you
is it?
know.
Yes, sir.
Worlds is in NA.
Where is it at?
Yes.
In LA.
LA finals, yes, but I believe there's like New York. I think there's some Chicago.
Madison Square Garden.
Maybe not Chicago. I don't know. There's plenty of like
St. Louis.
venues though. No.
Yeah, not a
Nah,
chance.
they had to take
Shot.
him. They had to take him out of Canada. Though that was a controversial thing. There
Yeah.
was a stage in Canada, and then they had to cancel that because of COVID restrictions, and how to get visas for both places is really
That
rough.
makes sense.
Yeah,
What was I gonna say? Fuck.
that you're gay.
Fucking K. Yeah, true.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's esports for the week. Let's talk about media of another form of the television, as we like to do around here. We got a couple hot things for the week.
Some
Parm,
literal hot
well,
D.
yeah, I'll give you hot D first. So, context: I did not watch, but did read synopsis. Wow, am I glad I missed
The
the incest
spoilers.
so far. I'll get there, but I've made my jokes before about how I'm not a big fan of the incest plot lines.
I think you're very much going to like this episode if you can.
it was truly a Jame of Throne.
I think if for me, I just suspend.
Yeah.
They're magical characters in a weird universe. Who cares if they call them niece and uncle? It doesn't. It's weird in
it's
real
so-
life.
No,
but
so
it's-
the whole the whole thing of
it
him-
happened all the time.
Hang on.
All these
Yes.
fuckers were inbred back in the day.
And
So
that's-
I
and
want them
that's
to
why
show
I-
how stupid it
Yeah.
was.
Exactly, and I agree with that as an artistic point because if that's the driving point and you're trying to have an air of realism to it, and you should.
Yeah.
Like, we've had weird acknowledgments already when the king was going to remarry to a 12-year-old.
But especially with the Targaryens, like that's their whole thing is
Yes.
that they're very the Valyrian bloodline means something to them in the way of magic, in the way of controlling dragons.
Correct.
And so it does make it does make sense in this universe if we're gonna make a
Plus, well, now we can claim Aegon's not even pure blooded. He's half
Well-
Hightower.
Well,
Yeah.
and the big thing for me is like I was telling you guys earlier is I saw this thing that kind of made me look at it in a different light is it brings everybody's intentions into question. The act of it and the whole setup, it ruins the trust between the king and his brother, which he's fine with because he's just a shit disturber. It's
Sure.
like you're not sure if he actually did it on purpose or if he was just he meant to bring her to the brothel and then do whatever and
Yeah.
just ruin her honor. Like there's all these sorts of swirling things, and then there's this other guy. It's like, what is his connection to his former wife that he ends up with at the end of the episode? There's all these different things that it reveals. So while yes, it was a little weird seeing some girl's uncle carry her into a brothel, like it kind of fit with the strange character they've made for him. So
Oh,
that
absolutely.
shit was weird.
Yeah.
That shit weirded.
Like,
it was an odd scene. I will say.
like there's no way you can watch it comfortably.
No,
Yeah.
I watched it alone and I still was like, it felt weird to. If it was just a bit uncomfortable.
I will get to it in a couple days here, probably.
I wish
Probably tonight, even maybe. don't
I
know.
could see them maybe having a similar effect if they didn't show it. I would have rather them just not show it
Yeah.
and just like say it happened off
yeah.
screen, and then
Yeah.
we kind of get into the
See,
mystery as
we-
well.
Nah,
You know what I mean?
hang on.
You know
I'm
what?
gonna say something even though I don't like
I
incest.
hate that we got the
Yeah.
crab feeder off screen, but we got the incest sex.
Right, we get
on
to see
screen.
this dude's
So
dick ripped
what I
off,
was
but
gonna
we-
say is we all hate an off-screen death.
Yeah,
So why should we get an off-screen fuck?
yeah.
We literally did for Aegon.
That's fair, but well, that
But that was more
I
tasteful,
was
bro.
kind of annoyed
Yeah,
that
but
they
you
didn't
didn't even-
show the crab feeder.
But you never
fight,
got like
you're right.
even a kiss between Viserys and
No, I
Alicent
know,
or
I'm just-
anything.
I'm
That's
messing.
I'm
Yeah.
serious about that. Like you have no passion between them. It's like I mean, it does make it more Jame of Throne-y,
Yeah.
where it's like
Well, but no, that I mean, if you watch the most recent episode, that's kind of a theme is that the coldness towards her, and she's kind of coming around, and she starts reigniting the friendship with Rhaenyra because of that. She's like, oh, well, and you can see the king is physically starting to fall apart. All
Oh
the cuts
yeah, dude.
are decaying all over his back
because he's
and
a
all
weak
over.
king.
Like he's looking like he's
an unfit
he's lost
king.
two fingers already. Like it's getting bad.
Damn. All right. Well, I'll watch the episode. No more spoily doilies.
So in
No, I get
in the lore of the show,
yeah,
the
I get
Iron
that,
Throne
I
cuts
get,
him
yeah,
and
yeah, I get
gets
that,
infected,
but
but
it's like, come on, you're not gonna fucking set a pillow on there, my guy.
no.
but it's also
It-
like I think
it's a
there's a
strength
curse.
thing.
It's a curse
Oh,
thing
yeah,
too,
it's
you know.
Yeah, I guess that'd be
Like if you're a
pussy.
weak ruler on the Iron Throne, it only cuts people who are weak.
Yeah.
Is
So
the mythos
you're
around
not
it.
weak if you don't get good, basically.
Yeah.
And they need a strong king on the throne.
And
It's all
because
about
he's been
separation
such a
and
weak
strength.
ruler and he's letting like all this crap go on in his realm, that's kind of like the lore behind why they say it started to cut him and get infected and yada yada.
Yeah.
Which has always been like a background thing. Like we had that revelation moment a couple episodes ago when I told you the Aegon thing.
Right,
like,
when
oh
you
yeah,
told me
that's
it is
him.
the one I was thinking of. Yeah,
exactly. I think that's the beautiful thing of like some of this. If you know some of the background stuff,
Yeah.
when you watch the show, like it's not obviously like one for one, but it's quite good to fill in the gaps, and it's quite enjoyable,
right.
honestly.
And it's got so much going on that it's not like it's the big one major plot point going on that you already know. It's like, okay, I know he's gonna die at some point. He's looking pretty old, and he's just trying to pop out heirs anyway. So
Absolutely.
we're not really cheating on, it's not a huge leap to be like, oh, he's
it will surely
looking
be
pretty rough.
Yeah.
a dance of dragons.
It's
where we are headed. We are headed to the dance of dragons. That is what this event is.
Of fire and blood.
Yeah, see that shit's
whatever.
actually lame, and I hate that they've like reused it as like the book title at the end of Game of Thrones, and then also as like the mythos name of the like prophecy.
Mm-hmm.
So weird.
And I'm kind of confused. What is the prophecy necessarily? Like, is it just that
The White Walkers will come?
Yeah, the White Walkers will come.
Okay,
and
so
a great winter will
it's
fall
just like
Westeros.
okay, so it's just like the first one. It's the same sort of deal because I didn't.
That literally
didn't
is
quite
the,
catch
it's
on
the
to that.
prophecy that they are prophesizing that happens in Game of
Okay,
Thrones.
okay.
That's what I'm saying. It's the twofold, it's the connections.
I see.
That shit is lame to me.
Yeah, honestly, I didn't. That
But
didn't track much.
The
for me.
fact that I know, like, if someone's like, "This will truly be a dance of the dragons," and they say that, like, that is what the event is called in the history books of Westeros. It's called the Dance of the Dragons.
Mhm.
So I know that we're going there, and that shit gets me excited.
Well,
That is where this is headed.
Also, we didn't. This is just unrelated, but the little kid who was like, "You fucking what, mate?" and then stabbed that guy.
Yeah.
You'll see there's
awesome.
so there's suitors for
Holy shit.
Rhaenyra because
She's
she's
on
being
tour,
toured. She's on tour to get married
Is
off.
this the plot line that starts the whole weird incest shit?
Yeah.
Yeah, so she's off touring
fine.
everywhere
It's
to get
fine.
married.
It's fine.
But anyway, there's this one little kid who
Based.
goes up there and he's like 14 and he's got a sword on and he's like, I will be a good husband to you, yada yada. And then somebody from the crowd jeers some shit at him and he goes, "You fucking what, mate?" And he's like, "You want to fight right now?" And he pulls out his sword and then as she's walking out the room, she sees him just stab and this is like a 30-year-old man he kills.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Don't besmirch the Blackwood's honor.
Yeah, dude.
I do. I do appreciate that kind of stuff right there. Now let's talk about the other major fantasy high realm trepidation going on right now, if I would say so, because it is a little bit more. I'd say we're at a lull almost.
It's a
already in
little
the
bit
middle of
more.
the
It's
season.
just a lot of exposition.
Well, it has to be,
Well, yeah,
Kind
that's
of,
Lord
but-
the Rings,
but it is a
though.
lot.
But
I think we're getting
it's
somewhere where it's
gotten a
going to be
bit too
less.
much.
I think it's gonna. I think it's gonna be less throughout the season now, and it's going to be more like driving what we have forward.
Yeah.
I think we're getting
I'm
there.
not.
I think we're getting
I'm not fully judging it yet, but at this
well,
point,
we have what's his face, the villain of the Orc Brethren. So the name of the episode has like some name. I think it's is it Amon? Is that it?
I
A
don't know.
man.
Amar. I don't know. So it's the Orc
Amar
word.
Saint
It's
Brown.
the no shut up. It's the Orc word for father. I found that out. It's like the Orcish tongues word. The name of this guy is the like tongue for father of orcs. So one could be inferencing we might be getting a Sauron reveal at the very beginning of the next episode.
Okay.
Because Sauron goes by many names, which is here's a couple interesting things that happen I want to point out. Number one, Helbram, is that his name? Right? The man who is of the King of the Southlands that they revealed at the end of the episode. He's the one who's been traveling with Galadriel. The sole man who survived on the raft with her.
That was King of the Southlands.
That's what they revealed. Remember?
I did not catch that. I
Okay,
guess.
so she does the whole thing in the map, like where she like lines up the symbol that she's been seeing, and she
Yeah,
lines up
yeah.
with the vision of the Southlands on the map of Middle Earth, and she realizes that it's a map of the Southlands,
Mhm.
and then she reveals that Helbram, the guy who's saying like there is no king, also she goes, no, the reason why is because you are the king. like you ran away from your people, like you're the king, and then he had like this smirk. He's like, you got me.
Dude,
oh,
smart little
oh.
bit, smart alpha. You're a
So
smart
yeah,
alpha.
you didn't
Man,
catch that
I
shit.
didn't catch that at
Oh
all.
yeah, that totally.
Because I was annoyed by him, like just I thought he was just sussing her up.
Well,
or
so there's
whatever,
also
I
a thing where
skipped that part.
okay, so here's where it gets crazy with him. I think Helbram might actually be Sauron still.
Okay.
I'm not convinced that
Oh.
this new guy is Sauron. Actually, I'm convinced maybe Helbram might be. A couple things were said in the last episode that give me hints. Here's what happened. Number one, he tries to get in with the Smithing Guild on Numenor, which is the island of men where they end up. And they say you have to be in the guild and have your crest before you can, do any smithing on Numenor. It's the rules. So he then is sitting at like some picnic table or thing, and then like men start harassing him and giving him trouble because he's a stranger.
And then he steals the crest.
And then he steals his crest, and he plays nice and like comes all friendly, but then he steals his crest, right? And then he gets into like an alleyway fight with all of them, and he attacks a couple of them, and then he's jailed, and that's when Galadriel, after realizing that the orcs are in the Southlands, that's where they've been, that's where the enemy has been hiding all these thousands of years. Then she confronts Helbram about him, this I know the sigil on your necklace thing. She says like
okay.
she's like, yeah, I know that, like that sigil is this is of this family. You are the king. That's why you still wear it, even though you have like tattered clothes and all this shit, right? I don't give a fuck about that.
Yeah.
I don't think he actually is the king or whatever. That's like where it's misleading me. There was a couple things said about like Sauron goes by many names. Like he's had many names before, and he could be many different things.
Daddy, father.
Sauron, the Dark Lord. The one I was looking
The
for
Dark
was
Lord.
well, one I'm looking forward to seeing possibly is Anatar, which is his alias. He is so Celebrimbor has been introduced, which is the man.
Lord Celebrimbor.
Yes, the maker of the Rings of Power.
Yeah.
Canonically, and Sauron was one of the people working with him very closely as an elf in disguise known as Anatar at the time. So that was one of the aliases. I'm kind of like waiting for that name to come up and be like, that's him. So what I'm expecting now is the reveal of him prior as a different character, and then the bait and switch that he's Anatar now, and he's like working with them. Maybe season
To
2.
get us
Well, maybe the
non-book
captive
readers
elf
going.
is possessed by him in some way, and that's how
Eh,
the one that they've took the elves that they have
the
captive.
the
there?
canonical non-existent elf because he's a black man according to the internet or whatever. Yeah, no,
Yeah,
no, you're talking about.
Yeah, so maybe he's sometime.
I don't think he's possessed. Oh, the guy you mean they're taking him to?
Right, like
He looks
maybe
elvish. Yes,
that's what I'm saying. Is
so
maybe
he
maybe he's
very
possessed
well-
a prisoner at some point.
He
or
very well
something.
right. So maybe he's taken another elf and then corrupted them, or maybe he is
Yeah,
this person. Maybe
yeah,
he
right.
is them.
That's what I'm thinking. Is maybe that's how he gets back
Right.
the connection.
But here's the thing with the Helbram thing, right? So he gets addressed by those men when he's like first being confronted by them before they eventually, sully up, and then he tries to steal the crest. Before that happens, when he comes like he's like, I want to like be and he goes to like ask to be in the guild at first. Not really be in the guild, he wants to just forge. He said, I'm the best in like this craft, right? Sauron's a master craftsman. Like that's one of his things. He is a master craftsman. Like, don't get it twisted. The Rings of Power were like the facilities to do so are like made through Celebrimbor and Anatar or whoever's help that they're going to do. But the One Ring was forged by Sauron by himself at Mount Doom.
So maybe he's not an elf and he's just like an
there's
honorary
also-
friend of the elves because he helps Galadriel in some way.
Foe in disguise. But yes, conceptually. So here's the other thing too. The fall of Numenor is known canonically to happen through Sauron. Now, how it happens technically, and this is where it's going to get really convoluted with what's going on in the show, and I have some issues with like I need to know this is headed the right way, is that the Kingdom of Men confront Sauron in the Second Age. And when they do, they take him prisoner and he comes back as an advisor. And then he's a prisoner and he works his way up to advisor. And then he from within manipulates the government into falling apart and Numenor falls.
Great promotion from within, dude. They
So-
really do hire-
prisoner to
if you're-
president.
If
baby.
you're wise and you
That's
can
like a
offer
Donald Trump
value,
move.
I mean, you see it in this episode
Except
too.
he did
Like
it in
people are
reverse.
locked. Like they're saying, like, oh, like the elf is like an outsider. We don't want them in Numenor. They haven't been there for X amount of years. And then
Did they ever say why they don't let the elves there anymore? I didn't really catch on why. Have they said yet?
It's kind of a thing.
Sauron.
How do I explain it? Well, number one, like half breeds are kind of like a problem, and they don't like neither side is a big fan of them.
Yeah.
Oh, half elves.
That's
and such.
they made a whole thing about that with the plot line earlier in the show. Also, I'm thinking maybe Theo is actually half elf still, which is why he's drawn to the blade, the Morgul sword or whatever it is you want to call it.
Yeah.
The Morgul blade.
But the big thing that was like the bigger introduction was this elf, this what's his name? The sea captain that had the long hair and the beard that saved Gladriel. Whatever. I can't remember his name. His name is some name, but it translates in Elvish to like
Elf
ally,
friend.
like elf friend. So they like start accusing him. Are you a friend of the elves? Actually, blah blah. Turns out he is, and he helps Gladriel escape like the guard that's keeping her in the city. Takes her to some like super big library thing, which is what helps her solve the puzzle of like Sauron's in the Southlands. That's where the enemies are amassing.
Right. He seems like the best acted character so far.
And then it's revealed that he has 2 children. He references that I have a daughter and a son. Blah blah blah. And then they drop the name of the son at the very end of the scene. Isildur. Isildur is the heir. Is the old king that like Aragorn is named. Like that's his lineage.
Yeah.
Like you just got introduced to the King of Men who defeats Sauron in battle.
And
it's like, oh fuck! And right now he's just like some teenager like studying to like pass his. Well, he has to pass a trial of the sea in 9 days.
Trial
of the sea because he's a sailor.
Yeah.
So that's like their whole thing is they
How the fuck did the orcs hide in the Southlands?
Right. I mean, where else did they think they were gonna be?
Because the Southlands are an uninhabitable wasteland. That's where Mount Doom is. It's like it's a wasteland. No one wants to fucking live there. People live on the foothills of the way.
They checked the frozen lands.
Yes, but that's because
fucking racist.
Hang on, no. They went there because that was a place where Morgoth hid. Like you saw that.
Yeah, well,
you saw that when they went there.
They didn't know.
Right, because it's a place of deep. Well, that was the same. There was a known place they knew of, like possible they had heard.
It was a
place of legend.
It was a known unknown, not an unknown unknown.
They had heard the myth of.
There are certain things we do know. That
I'm
we
sorry,
don't know.
hearing the myth of a place that might exist and then
known.
finding it means you did know it could exist and then you found it.
Yeah, I was doing the Boondocks thing.
I think you're smoking weed.
Even as you know.
Yeah, so that whole thing's gonna be tight. I'm excited to see where it's going. I think we find that's what I'm saying. I think with the Isildur introduction, having Elfriend, whatever his name, starting to develop Helbram, maybe introducing this new villain character.
It's just
more
been
directly,
a bit boring for me.
I feel like yes, it has been droll and it's been harder to watch. I felt like kind of the same. I get the same kind of feeling when I watch Game of Thrones. Sometimes, not gonna lie, when it's a lot of exposition, new characters at first. I feel like now Game has hit where we were trying to hit. I'm excited to see what happens on Friday's episode of
I'm
Rings of
hoping
Power.
all the weird
Purely because I
is
think
out of the way.
what's what I'm saying. I think, like you said, like we've hit this point and we're like really developing like the plot lines and the threads, right? I feel like Rings of Power is about to do the exact same.
I hope all of the little Hobbit people fall off a fucking cliff. They're very annoying, and they don't add anything to the story.
I think that the Brandyfoot family is going to be the one that establishes the Shire.
I mean, even if they do, I don't give a shit.
Okay.
Like, why do we care about the Shire at all? They don't do anything.
Because Frodo and Sam. What do you mean? Frodo and Sam saved the world.
But that's fucking not for 100 years. Who cares?
But what I'm thousands. Number one.
See, right.
Number two, because what I'm saying is that this is the Harfoot family that becomes the people who literally become hobbits because they invent the Shire.
I know, but
that's
like, why,
kind of cool.
I mean, it is, but why? Like, it doesn't relate to.
Shut up.
To the
what
story
if your man's Gandalf?
Oh yeah, the man's
then you're just wrong because now you're establishing Gandalf's relationship with the hobbits, so you need that too.
But it doesn't.
Oh, the
why?
man's Gandalf, is he not?
Why can't Gandalf be introduced outside of the Hobbit?
Well, I'm
gonna say I don't think it should be Gandalf technically. If I'm being honest, I'm just saying what if he is?
Right, because he should have already been in the universe for a while.
No, he should not have been in the universe yet.
Oh, really?
Second age, and the wizards don't show up until the third age.
Oh. I don't know everything.
I just know a lot of shit.
I really don't give a shit about the fucking hobbits. I really don't. I don't care about the formation of the Shire.
I'll say that's the most boring plot thread.
Yeah, when the main thing you're showing me is elves, Middle Earth, and the first ending of the world. Look, I don't care about the hobbits forming the Shire.
I want to see the dwarves and the elves working together.
Right.
I want to see the rings being forged.
The dwarves are way cooler than the hobbits right now.
I'm not disagreeing with you. I actually think I want to see the men keep doing things because I love the Numenor plotline.
Yeah.
Because that is like a whole deep cut shit back in the day. Like that is like Numenor was this island thing. It's a paradise of fucking men. You're gonna see it's a great place. It's a huge civilization, like very well developed, and it falls into the ocean, cast down by God because of the corruption Sauron, like will bring to it, and like the evil he will bring. Like it's fucking cool.
Evil, yeah. See,
and
that's what I'm saying. Compared to that,
development into the king that will be, and like the man who will help. Who will help? What's his face? Good old elf man, big chin.
Legolas.
No,
Orlando Bloom.
No.
Oh, true.
Young
Zac Efron.
No, the one who's working with Celebrimbor.
It's
the young version.
Politician.
Yeah, the politician.
I don't remember what his name is. Elrond.
Elrond, thank you. Yeah. Yes, young Elrond.
Hubbard.
Watching Elrond and watching Isildur become the characters they will become, like that excites me. watching the
Right.
elves fight against like the Battle of the Southlands, seeing who this new villain's going to be.
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to lie, the villain reveal, like, that caught me like a little hype at the end. 'Cause his face was blurred out, so you couldn't really see him, and you're like, who is this guy? Like, you want to see him, you know? You
Oh,
wanna
I
know.
was like, next. I don't think I even saw that part.
I should have rewatched
the end,
like
to
the
be fair.
original.
Yeah, I
three
don't think I
movies.
watched the very end because I was like, elves getting attacked. I was just waiting to see if they'd escape.
No, so they killed all of them, and they take the one that, you know, is the mixed
Yeah,
race
right.
gentleman, and
That's
they
what I'm
take
saying.
him because he's strong to the other guy.
Yeah.
I don't know. That was it was a good episode. Like I said, I think
mean,
it's to the progression point.
it doesn't
think it's
matter
good.
how good
I
the
hope.
episodes are because according to Twitter, black elves equals 0 out of 10.
Right? Yeah.
Dude.
Oh, now we're
I
on to Black Mermaid
hate-
discourse.
Yeah, oh
and it's
yeah,
just-
dude.
Oh god, I don't want to talk about that.
No,
Let's talk about
you-
Somebody
bad.
fucking color corrected the mermaid with deep fake software so
Look,
that they could have a white
No.
black. I'm like,
Durs is
what
the resident
fuck are we
white guys.
doing?
Do we want to just say it like whitewashing shit is fucking stupid? Stop doing it. Let people. Just
There are
be
plenty of white
people.
people in things already.
It's like
Yeah,
why?
like why can't we?
Like,
just
why
leave it-
not
let
just
them be
let
black? Let them be
somebody
Indian. Let them be
be
fucking
Be in a movie.
racist people?
Chinese. I don't care.
Racist people, hear me. Mermaids are not real.
Right.
They could be
That's the
Right.
message.
Mermaids aren't real.
No, my whole thing is I hate the concept of like this person can't be this. It's like why the fuck can't you just get over it and enjoy the piece
Well,
of
and
what's being
it's like-
presented? Like why can't you accept the media or the art? Why can't you just take it through the medium and shut the fuck up and watch
because they hate black people. That's
Yeah,
all
'cause
it
they're
is.
fucking
they're,
weird.
They're,
They're
looking
fucking weird,
They're
dude.
looking for a reason to hate the show, and they
Yes.
see a black person, and their first thought is just oh my god, I can't believe it. yeah. It's just their brain melts, and all of their thoughts go
it. You
out.
had a real look of danger in your eye there.
I saw the
It's like an old cartoon where their the face gets red and there's like steam shooting out.
Right, it's like they don't care about how good the show is.
Yeah.
Nothing else matters. It's just
Yep.
like they're just gonna be racist.
And the
That's
thing
all
is, like,
they're there to watch it.
I think you get into weird shit like that too, because you know Zach was talking about how he bought the Silmarillion because he's now getting into it because of the show. It's like I made like good luck reading ancient Greek because that's what it's like reading, and he's like, no, it's more like runic, like Viking language. And shit. I'm like,
Runic.
I mean, you're not wrong, but you're fucking weird for trying to be that guy. Number one, and number two, I'm saying the level of difficulty.
It's just
it's
not
comparable to
fun
ancient
reading,
Greek,
really.
like,
I mean, I enjoy the
hard.
movies more than I do like reading the
Oh,
Lord of
yeah.
the Rings books, and I'm a huge reader. But I
And
like
I do.
it's just
I've read the
very
Silmarillion twice front to
wordy.
back. It's a dictionary essentially. Like
well, the
it's
Silmarillion. I was like, why don't even read that? Because you're
Yeah.
not gonna want to.
It's not easy to
It's
digest.
like it's just
not easy. to
footnotes
digest.
of what happened over thousands of years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if you want to develop a timeline and understand the story, yes, it's great, but like it's not easy and it's not like the story. Like
and it's not something
also it's
fun
not
to sit
it's
down
not
and
the
read,
guy
really.
who no, it's not like you don't buy the Hobbit and then buy the Lord of the Rings books and then also buy the Silmarillion at the same time. Like you need to read the Hobbit and the Lord of the Rings books and then digest that and enjoy it for what it is and like chew on it for a while. And then if you're like,
Right,
I
'cause
need
you
a
can-
little
you
more
can
of
know
that
all this
good.
extra information, but you're not gonna know
Knowing
how
that
it fits or
like
what,
you wouldn't know
what it means
Celebrimbor is
about.
the Lord other than the name dropped in Lord of the Rings as a reference of the Maker, right? So having this exposition going back of knowing like in this age and time he worked with a person to forge these things, like, it's neat to know, but it's fucking exposition unnecessarily. Like you don't need to put that in your brain of like I need to know Middle Earth's history. You need to know more of the story of the Hobbit and Lord of the Rings, for being honest. Like those are where the real story lies. I'm glad there's a show now. I'm glad, like I love Tolkien. I am a deep cut reader on that shit.
Token. Yeah.
Yeah, Tolkien. It was revealed his name is Tolkien in the most recent season. Did you not see that
No,
episode?
yeah, I did see
Okay,
that
I was gonna
episode,
say, I'm
yeah.
like, that was pretty funny.
Yeah, that's
That was a good one.
Yeah.
That Token, the black kid in South Park, is
Yeah.
not actually named Token. His real name is
It's
Tolkien
Tolkien.
because his dad
Tolkien, I
loves
see.
Tolkien.
Yeah.
That's
I
so
see.
funny.
Tolkien.
That's so good. But yeah, that show's cool. Let's talk about one other show real quick before we wrap up. Cobra Kai season 5 is out.
I
Oh.
started the first episode. I'm almost done with it.
I'm on episode 7.
It's good.
Oh, dude, it's okay.
It's
So
pretty
why
good.
I put a message in the chat. I said I just started episode 2, and I've already gotten everything I wanted this season. I lied. First off, there was
Yeah.
even more given to me, and I'm like spoonful in that shit.
Yeah,
It's so
yeah,
good.
yeah,
So Chosen is the villain from Karate Kid 2.
yeah.
But at the end of the last season, he like came back to help Daniel. Like that was like
Yeah.
the very end scene. So Chosen has been working with him, and then also you've seen Chosen in Johnny moments.
Yeah.
The villain of Karate Kid 3 back in the day, Mike Barnes, is reintroduced at one point. And then so my big thing is like number one, you're getting these like fun, goofy Chosen
Terry
moments.
Silver.
But really, this is where it gets fun. I said this back in the day. I don't know if I ever fully fleshed this out in the pod, so I'll give a quick synopsis of my opinion on the show. I did never fuck with Cobra Kai until I heard in season 4 Terry Silver was coming back. The reason why is because Terry Silver is like one of my top 3 movie villains of all time.
Really?
He's fucking crazy. He's a maniacal like psychopath who sits in a bubble bath and plans how to torture an 18-year-old in 1985.
How does he get Daniel to join him? Like, I don't understand. Like,
because he pretends to be a master, or trained to the master, Kim Sung Young, which is like a name that you're gonna hear referenced again because it's the inventor of the Way of the Fist out of Korea, and it's a whole thing that's explored more in season 5. But basically, like he pretends to be an ally, and that's how he seduces Daniel essentially into like joining his dojo. And like, well, like Mr. Miyagi won't teach me more and all this stuff. He's had Daniel and Miyagi have a conflict in Karate Kid 3 about like you need to find
lovers quarrel.
No. Miyagi's just like, I've taught you everything you need to know from me. You need to find your own karate at this point. Like you have learned so much from me, and we've been through so much, but there's not much more for me to teach you. You
stop
need to find your own way.
me and find
like
your own.
Push your own self to find some more. And then he's like, well, he's not helping me. And then Terry Silver hires Mike Barnes, bad boy of karate, who's like known for brutalizing his enemies. He hires him personally to work for Cobra Kai. And then he's like, I also want you on the side. I'm paying you a lot of money, like $40,000 in 1985 money, right?
Okay.
Like lots of money to terrorize him, make his life hell on the outside, right? So he would just be like, I'm gonna fight you in the tournament, blah blah blah, and like he'd show up in like the bonsai shop and like break all the bonsais, and like they harass this girl which then you maybe a little spoiler, the girl that is the friend of Daniel in Karate Kid 3 is the cousin of his wife. They pull that thread back in like another like, oh, this old character's reintroduced.
It's cool because when they introduce new characters, they can just plug and like play these like connections.
It's really good. It works really well actually.
You're like,
so,
now this girl, but she looks
here's
like
what happens
20 years later.
A little bit of a thing. So they lean into the Terry is crazy thing, but it's so much that Terry like pretends to be a good guy on the outside. Like he goes to a charity event that Daniel's wife is hosting, and then he purposely like spends $30,000 like escalating a bid up very quickly. And then she's like, he's not that bad. He's not that. He's purposely driving a wedge in their marriage.
Yeah.
And then it works. And she like goes back to Ohio for a little bit and stuff. And then while that happens,
well, now I don't need to watch anymore.
It gets great. No. But then that's the thing. But then when it happens, the Silver twist, like you even yourself as a viewer start to like maybe think like, oh, Terry's maybe not as bad. Like maybe he really just wants to do karate. And then like the twist comes and it's like,
there's a twist.
This shit's fucking like,
now we know.
I mean, it's like, oh, Terry Silver is to the extreme.
Okay.
Like and that's where I was like, oh, I love this character, and I always have. I've always thought he's like just so over the top, like cartoony villain.
Yeah.
But he's like just that person. Actually.
He's that guy,
and that's what's so crazy about it.
Very familiar with that guy.
There's also a couple subplots in the season that are really, really enjoyable that are going on. I will not spoiler any at all. It's just, and that's
Travis Kelce.
Well, that's
also
what I'm saying.
that
Like,
guy.
I don't really feel like I ruined anything with like that plot.
TG,
like it's just like you're gonna see it develop. It happens pretty quick. It's whatever.
Yeah.
It's like an episode's duration. But basically, they're leaning into the Terry Silver villain arc way hard, and I love it. Yeah. And then the Chosen interactions, people are just like so fun. Like you have these, and then you have like Chosen backstory. And
Chosen, just a guy, not that guy.
Yeah, he's just guy. Chosen is that dude. What do you think? You didn't start right. You didn't start yet, right? You started. Did you see the thing with him as a child?
No, I didn't.
You haven't got there yet. Okay.
Yeah, I don't. I think I'm like where I stopped was him being an instructor at Cobra Kai.
Okay, you'll get to some background stuff on him, I think, in the next episode or whatever. But yeah, there's a whole little good plot line. It's really fun. I still haven't finished it though. And then also shout out to Tyron Woodley for being the one of the characters you haven't introduced yet, but he is in the show as a Cobra Kai.
Cool.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
He's a Cobra Kai. What's it called? Sensei.
Okay.
Sensei.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So it's a good season actually. I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't so hot on it at first, and I was gonna think that it was gonna be like pretty mediocre with like the kid plot lines again, because I think we all can agree, and everyone I've ever who talked to who likes the show but like has some issues with it, it's that I don't enjoy the kid plot lines. Give me the shit with the adults all day.
Yeah, dude, the kid plot lines suck.
Right. Way less kid plot lines in this one.
That's great.
Like, it's way more adult
I
ones,
hate
in my opinion.
Daniel's daughter. She's the worst part of it.
The Samantha arc is actually
the
Samantha arc is actually pretty all right this season.
Okay.
Like she's not the worst. She's not insufferable, you know?
Yeah.
Who's she banging this season?
Yeah, right.
Oh, I don't want to give it. This is actually a good spoiler.
Is
it Eli Moskowitz?
Eli Moskowitz?
I mean Hawk, sorry.
Yeah,
my bad, whatever.
Hawk, he's my favorite.
Yeah. Well, no, actually it can't be because like Eli is with Moon, and then Dimitri has like the
Moon.
well, and then Dimitri got like the super hot girl.
Oh
right,
girl.
Good for Dimitri.
Who got the front wedgie? No, that was good.
He was complaining enough. He needed
some pussy.
He needed,
dude. That really did.
That high school child needed some pussy. On his shit.
Hang on. There is a moment though in the show where like they are talking about relationships like amongst teenage parts, right?
Yeah.
And there's a thing that he says about like his and his girlfriend's relationship that is very concerning. Like as an adult who knows what healthy relationship is, like that's not healthy. Like he says, like they do this like system of exchanging things or whatever. I don't want to explain like it fully give away the joke, but like I was like,
Red flag.
wow, you are a 16-year-old character. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that's a 16-year-old would be like, it's fine, it's cool. And I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah, 30 here and like,
Not a
boy,
chance.
Red flag, red flag.
red
She's
flag.
My son, run while you
crazy.
can.
yeah, man. So that shit's good. All right, anything else you guys want to talk about before we wrap it up? Any shout outs you want to do this week to yourself or anything?
Shout
Shout
out to
out.
the Queen of England for dying.
Oh fuck! How do we not even talk about that? Yeah, long
Fuck
live,
that bitch.
long live the king, dude.
Fuck
Yeah.
the royal family.
Yeah, fuck the colonizers.
Shout out toilets because I got a.
Okay, the one thing I will say though, I hated seeing when people were like talking about like, here's the queen with her long relationship with Africa. It's like, oh, you mean when she was actively trying to colonize still?
Right, the
When-
long
and
history
with
of colonialism and
That
exploitation.
will be the end of episode 28.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
And with that, we'll see you
ya.
later.
Bye, guys.